Hello, thank you for joining. Tonight, we are having a quarterly business meeting at Ebenezer Baptist Church on Wednesday. Our Wednesday evening service is actually the quarterly business meeting. So, in light of that and thoughts of that, I want to share a prayer request with you and very simply ask you to consider these three things. We years ago, North American Mission Board and perhaps the International Mission Board came up with a T-shirt that said "Pray, Give, and Go," and the gist of it is this, and how it applies to Ebenezer is this. I want to ask you, when we talk about the business of the church, please pray for our church, pray for our staff, pray for our members, for your fellow members if you're a member at Ebenezer. And if you're not a member of Ebenezer and you're watching this, I want to encourage you to pray for your church. Your pastor, your church staff needs that kind of support. You don't have to even tell them you're praying for them, but pray. There's so many things going on right now in the world and around. I can certainly speak to what's going on around here. Pray for your church staff. Pray for your church, that your church will make a difference where God has put it. Because, certainly our first rule of thumb, our first responsibility is worship. And then it's to follow those words of Christ and to be disciples. And that immediately leads us to the Great Commission. And there's a whole world around us in Florence, South Carolina that needs to be reached. Probably around you where you are too. So pray. Number two is give. I would definitely say that Ebenezer, for the most part, especially stacked up against other churches, is we're doing pretty well. We're not meeting budget right now, but this time of year we seldom do because of the summertime drop off. But give, and don't give because of what happens at the church. Now at Ebenezer, we use those your tithes and offerings are used to do kingdom things. They're used to execute the ministries and mission projects and things that we as a church are involved in here, in the home mission sense of across the United States and then abroad. And there are several levels of involvement in all of those. But that's not why any of us should give. Dinah and I a long time ago made a decision that we would give to God first and foremost. He's always blessed us and never fallen. We don't fall short typically unless we do something dumb. And so and usually the dumb one's me. So that falls back on me. But we give out of obedience because it's an act of worship. And then go. Pray, give, and go. Where are you called to go? Well, Jesus said, as you go in Matthew 28:16-20, when he issued the Great Commission. Yes, certainly you will be called to go. There will be times, just in recent years, we've had people from Ebenezer on trips organized by Ebenezer go places like Honduras, Haiti. We've sent people to Kenya. We've had people go all over the globe. And that scares some people, and guys, maybe you're called to go right where you are. Maybe you're called to go to work and be a disciple and share the gospel, to go to school, to go to the baseball field, the lake, the golf course, wherever it is you're called to go, you're called to be a disciple. And when Jesus commissioned us to be disciples, the last part of that commission was that we would make other disciples. So we as a church need to be about praying, giving, and going. There's a lot of stuff happening at Ebenezer, a lot of good stuff happening at Ebenezer, but the biggest call on us is to pray, give, and go as an act of worship to God. Pray that you will do that. Hope you have a great day.